morning, Pastor Steve here. Romans 12:3 this morning. For I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. The passage goes on to show how each of us is purposefully made to fit into the body of Christ and how to function there. Notice the mindset here, though. Don't think that you're the superhero who's going to save the day. But also, don't count yourself as useless or worthless, a zero who cannot contribute anything to the body. Have a reasonable thought about yourself. And the work of the body of Christ, by the way, is not just teaching Sunday school or even about serving at the place we call church. It is being a functioning body member in the world where it's needed. I remember a dear sweet woman in my first church who had a very successful daycare in her home. She was sought after, and the children who came to her got kind and tender care with firmness thrown in and helped them along the way. They also learned about our loving Christ from this woman, who was and is a great reflection of his face. And one day she came in to me when we were looking for junior church teachers in the building and was sort of sad because she couldn't help in church. I remember telling her then that she was serving in the church. She was the child care minister in the body, and just because she wasn't in the building, she was fulfilling that role perfectly. I hope it helped. I was trying at that point to get her to have that think soberly going on. She bloomed where she was planted. She still is a bright light, and thoughts of her and her husband bring joy to this jaded old man's soul. Are you feeling like God's answer to all the problems? Or maybe you thinking that your gifts and skills are not part of the glorious church? Think again and live church with a new mind and a realization that you're wired for a certain task. And even though you may not preach or teach Sunday school, you can get filled with Jesus and spill it over all week long in everything you do. You ponder that.